Shapeshifters refer to the characters who change one's shape or form into another through often magical means or as a punishment. There are three kinds of examples that I am going to introduce to you today. First of all, let's learn about the historical examples that can be found in the Greek mythologies. In Greek mythologies, shapeshifting usually occurs when the god or goddesses want to punish humans for their provocations. Now, you will watch an entertaining video where shapeshifting is being used.
Long ago in the forest of ancient Lydia, there lived a gifted artisan, Arachne. This mortal was a wonder at the art of weaving. Not only were her creations captivating, but so was the sight of her proficiency. Many gathered from near and far to inspect her ingenuity and watch with awe what was wrought. Even the forest nymphs would gather around her, transfixed by her craft and her creations. Many a passerby would say that such a talent must have been taught by Athena, goddess of thread. Curious, Athena transformed herself into an old woman and visited Arachne. She saw her work and gave Arachne a warning. She told that while her work was worthy of the gods, she was not above them. She then asked, if given the chance, would she challenge Athena's work with her own? Arachne scoffed at this, and would welcome such a contest. So confident was Arachne that she accepted the contest and whatever punishment if she was defeated. Angered, Athena revealed her true form to Arachne and offered the challenge. They would both weave their best work. The work would decide who was the other's superior. The nymphs fled in fear, and the crowd cowered. But Arachne stood her ground. The contest began with the mortal at her loom and the goddess at hers. The embroiderers prepared to battle with needle and thread. Athena began to weave. In her tapestry, she showed Poseidon with a salt spring and herself with an olive tree, presenting them as gifts to the city of Athens. The observers marveled at the divine work. Arachne began to weave, her fingers spinning subtle wonders of pure delight. Onlookers marveled at the magic produced by her nimble hands. Her tapestry depicted great Zeus in his various guises, pursuing his many loves. Zeus loving Leda as a swan, enamored with Europa as a bull, delighting Danae as a sweet shower of rain. Her tapestry breathed a life of its own. Even Athena herself found the work flawless. Enraged at being undone by a presumptuous mortal, Athena tore the tapestries to pieces. She then touched Arachne's forehead. The goddess replaced her overabundant pride with an all-consuming guilt. Such a guilt was too much for a mortal mind to bear. Arachne became depressed. She was lost. Depressed and distraught, she then departed this life. Athena, astonished at Arachne's actions and ashamed of her own, took pity on the poor mortal. She bent over Arachne's lifeless body and sprinkled her forehead with the nectar of aconite. The magical nectar breathed life back into her body. This brought Arachne back, but not as before. Athena had changed her into a spider. She would now forever weave her wonders for her and her descendants, the Arachnids.
Similar to this poor woman, there is also a king called Arcadia, who becomes a wolf for offering Zeus a plate of human flesh to learn whether the god was omniscient. Let's move on to the second type of example. I will tell you exactly on what book we can find the contemporary examples of shapeshifters. Have you ever read a novella called Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that is written by Robert Louis Stevenson? You can easily know where shapeshifting occurs after watching this short video clip. It is not only Dr. Jekyll who changes to totally opposite person. I am sure that you already know this guy. It's Hulk, from Marvel Comics.
I don't see how that's a party.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
Hold on!
You might notice that both Dr. Jekyll and Hulk's shapeshifting is related to their own psychological problems, unlike the gods and goddesses who used shapeshifting as a chastisement. Now, here comes the most exciting part of my presentation. Pop cultures and movie stars. The first shape-shifting movie characters that I am going to introduce is Peter Pettigrew of Harry Potter series. Pettigrew shape-shifts as Ron Weasley's pet rat, in order to hide his identity, but later found that he is one of the Death Eaters. The Twilight Saga film series is also a good example of where many shapeshifters come on the scene. Especially, the werewolves shape-shift themselves into a human shape and their true self back and forth. Even though shapeshifters are introduced in 3 different types of examples, they are all similar since the characters share the basic concept of shape-shifting. However, there are also differences, since the uses of shapeshifters can be sorted in 2 ways. First, shapeshifters were used and the author or director tries to provide scientific reason why it has to occur to be more realistic. Or second, it is just all about fantasy. Thank you for watching. I hope you understand what shapeshifters are and how they can be found in history, modern fiction, and movies.